Breaking news, headline: Political earthquake. Adeleke emerges Accord candidate. Welcome to Naija Media Connect, your trusted hub for reliable, fast, and factual news updates from across Nigeria. Before we continue, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss breaking stories like this. In a development sending shockwaves through Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke has now been confirmed as the candidate of the Accord Party. This surprising shift comes at a critical time, raising questions about political alliances, party internal dynamics, and the future of the state's governance structure. Political analysts suggest this move may be strategic, possibly aimed at strengthening Adeleke's grassroots influence, expanding voter appeal, or positioning himself for a broader political realignment ahead of upcoming elections. The Accord Party leadership expressed confidence in Adeleke's popularity and administrative record, noting that his candidacy could redefine the party's relevance in the state and beyond. Meanwhile, reactions across Osun have been mixed. Supporters celebrate the move as bold and visionary, while critics question the timing and political implications. Stay tuned to Naija Media Connect as we bring you updates, expert analysis, and unfolding details surrounding this political twist.
How significant is the criticism from Chris Imomole-led executives on Adeleke's political strategy?
Well, it highlights functional tension within the party system because they have two functions, and I think the court is yet to decide who has their particular position. Because in the recent judgment by the case was actually adjoined that Professor Christopher should be the one to be claiming the national party before they conclude the whole court judgment.
So, to you, does this signal possible factional tension within the Accord Party or PDP loyalists?
Well, as you can see what is happening. There is function, and it's clear because they have been to courts, and there is a judgment on that. So we cannot stay away from that. And I think the governors coming to Accord Party with this function is going to be a problem if it's not actually resolved within the both people that are claiming for that particular chairmanship seat.
You know, the Chris Imomole executive has said the governor came through the back door. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the governor, before joining the party, should have understand what is actually going on in that particular party. If you want to buy a house, you have to make sure that the document that is being presented to you are actually real before you go ahead with the payments. You understand me? So I think it's an assignment that should be have done before now to understand what is happening in the party is actually going to in the process of him winning the next election. So, and if there is a problem in that particular party, I think he should have understand how to handle it better than going to only one function, because it might affect him in the future if he wins the election.
Could this alleged move set a precedent for other politicians in the state or nationally?
Well, as you can see, it's other parties are going to actually take this particular issue that is happening as an opportunity for them to adjust and observe what is happening and use them as an opportunity to make sure they use them as an advantage for them to win their own political parties. So if, like I said, if things are not working the way it should be, then it's going to be a big problem for both the party and the governor coming to the party.
So let's even now analyze, how the party, the governor came into the party. There were rumors that he was supposed to be in the ADC, but of course he eventually settled down for the Accord. Now there are factions in the Accord Party. What do you think the Accord Party need to do at this particular point in time? Also, for the governor, who already, the party said they have actually screened him and submit his name for INEC, but there are factions already. How do they solve this?
Well, if you understand what is happening, Professor Christopher's faction said his move to Accord Party is actually invalid. You understand my point? And Barrister Maxwell is the one that actually went through with all the proceedings. And I think if it is not actually being taken care of, what I would say to this is, I think the party can come together and resolve their internal problem, because the governors coming to the party, I think, is an additional value for them as a party. If they are actually going to have the same mindset towards the benefit or what will benefit the party or the party system. And I think the governor can play a better role in doing that, in making sure that he brings them together to make sure everything is going well for him to have the possibility of winning the next election. And if you notice something, he left the PDP because of these particular problems, because of the factions they're having, the court cases they're having. So coming down to Accord Party with a similar problem, it's actually a question to ask, because if you had asked me, I would ask him to move to ADC. But I don't know what actually happened between ADC and him that led him back to Accord Party. And if you notice, even the president had to intervene within the APC's candidates for them to have a consensus for only one person. So every single party is trying to make sure their homes is tight to be ready for the big fight.
I like the fact that you brought in that aspect, because the same thing was running from PDP as the same thing is actually facing in Accord Party. But how do we solve these kind of issues?
Yeah.
Politicians, when they are cross-carpeting, what they are running from is what they are also meeting on the other party. How do we solve these kind of issues?
We solve them by having a dialogue, a good dialogue that will bring them together. And like I told you, if I want to contest in a party, and I understand the party has a problem, and I believe in that particular party, so what I'm going to do is to sit them down, both the function, to make sure we have an understanding. Because in as much as they're having problems now, they were working together before. If I remember when the professor was the candidate of the presidential candidate of the Accord Party, Maxwell was the chairman, they were actually working together. So something happened along the way that made them had a problem to be having these issues now. So I think something can happen to bring them together and sit them down and to make sure things are going to work for the betterness of the party and for the betterness of the governor in the upcoming election.
Thank you very much.
If you found this report insightful, like, share, subscribe to our channel Naija Media Connect, and tell us your thoughts in the comment section below.